आज आपके साथ मैं एक बार फिर से हाजिर हूँ। एंड बाय नाउ यू मस्ट बी नोइंग मेरी गेस्ट कौन है। जी हाँ, नन अदर देन द वेरी 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 ब्यूटीफुल मिस शीतल ठक्कर। एंड इट्स ऑलरेडी 2 p.m. and let's take her live and let's see what do we uncock about her. So Miss Sheetal Thakkar, here we go live with you. How are you, ma'am?
Very good. How are you?
I'm good too, ma'am. You're looking really, really very pretty today.
Thank you. I hope everyone out there is good, happy, healthy. Let's begin.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, before we start this live episode, yeah, पहले किसी ने बोला एक बात बोलूं, बिल्कुल बोलिए अपनी फेवरेट एक्टर के लिए बिल्कुल बोलिए. So, ma'am, before we start this podcast, let's recapitulate आपके childhood के बारे में. How was your childhood? What was the environment like at your home when you were growing up?
So my childhood was great. I would give anything to go back to my childhood. School days were amazing, and it's just such a beautiful time because no responsibilities. You can do what you want, not a care in the world. You're not thinking about what you have to eat, what you have to eat. You're just playing, having fun, and home environment was also very nice. My parents were very loving, very supportive, very very encouraging. It's because of them that I got into this industry because they really kind of pushed me and let me do whatever I want to do. So it was great. I think it was a perfect childhood. I'm blessed.
So, ma'am, yeah. So, ma'am, you grew up in Mumbai itself?
Yes, yes, absolutely. In Bombay, in Mumbai,
Hmm.
and this place, very pretty place called King Circle. It's a nice residential area. So yeah.
Ma'am, if we look back, all the topmost serials like Koshish, Ashirwad, Swabhiman, you were associated with those projects. How do you look back this journey of 3 plus decades?
Yeah, I was very, very fortunate, because my first show was Swabhiman. It was a big show, by Plus Channel, directed by Mahesh Bhatt, and with all these big actors. So there was so much learning from the first show on. And it was very different from today's times. Actually, it was very well organized. We got our dates in advance, so you exactly knew what you were doing. You would get your script and all. So it was a different time. It was a different way of working, and yeah, I'm lucky that I got to work with such people. I worked with Balaji. I worked with the Sippis. So I've had some big names who've helped me learn.
Ma'am, like you said, you have worked with topmost directors, topmost actors. Ma'am, if we look, and you are still relevant, you are still doing your roles amazingly. So, how do you see? Is there any difference in the working style? Of course, there must have been, but if you look at the actors or colleagues, do you think earlier people were more like you were? They were more raw. They were not that prepared. Like today we see there are reels, there are YouTube videos where people are more involved in their own growing. So do you think there were earlier people had more that sort of human touch which is absent today?
Mm, See, I don't know because now I see the youth and all, they come more prepared. They've seen
Very much.
it, they do their own reels, they know how to face the camera, how to take the light. So they're more prepared in those terms. But as far as the craft is concerned, you uh, either have it or you don't have it, and then you learn on the job, or you've gone to a school. So I don't think there's much of a difference. We had amazing talented actors then, we have talented actors now. The only difference I feel is then it was a little more relaxed. The pressure was not so much. We could do 2 3 shows at a time, which we can't do now. We just can do one show. And so you had more personal life and you had space to do more things then as opposed to now. It's more hectic now. But other than that, I think it's the same. Yeah. But
Ma'am, is there any pressure of staying relevant to these young generation?
no, yeah, you can't take that pressure. You just have to do what you want to do, what you have to do, and the rest is then you can't really bother yourself with that. So when I'm called for a show or whatever, I go, I see what I have to do, I just do my best, and then that's it, you leave it there. You can't try and make that effort to be relevant and to, just be there. That's not me. I think I'm a little old school as compared to, people's today. But it's okay, just do your job and rest will be taken care of.
Ma'am, now I would like to talk about the most sensitive part of your life, those 36 days of isolation.
Wow.
And I'm sure that is very, very touchy subject too, but I would like you to discuss to bring that awareness, that especially that mental power to
Yeah.
face it, fight it, and then come back with a bang.
Yeah, I'll tell you, of course it's difficult, right? But sometimes the problem is that when you hear that word, there's so much fear attached with it. You suddenly feel, okay, now life's over for you. You don't know what you're going to do. It's going to be such a tough journey. I just like to say one thing: take each day as it comes. Don't overthink any situation, whether it's regarding your health, relationships, your kids, your career. You can't overthink because that's not going to help. Because honestly, I believe that there's nothing, absolutely nothing in our power. You can just do what you have to do and forget it. So if you think that, oh, this is going to happen or this is not going to happen, no. I was working. I was doing Sasural Samarka too when I was diagnosed with cancer. I had some big plans. I had some travel plans, and who knows? 10 days later, I was sitting in a doctor's office asking, what is the life expectancy? How long am I going to live? You know? So it was bizarre. And then from there, this whole journey of 2 years actually, 36 days, yeah, in isolation, but it's been a long journey and a lot of things, a lot of treatment, a lot of hospital admissions, good days, bad days, very bad days. But हो जाता है, just keep going, cry, fight, do whatever, throw some things, but just know that you have to get through this. Just know in your head, no matter what, if it's your career, just be there, just show up, and you will get there. If it's a health hazard, just be there. Okay, if you do this, it's painful, it'll be over. you know just make up your mind that this is it right now. This is what I'm supposed to do right now. This is what I'm supposed to face right now, and this will pass. He'll also do his work ना. अब सब हम ही करेंगे तो भगवान क्या करेंगे? Let him do his job. You do your job. Let him do his job. It's
Ma'am,
okay.
and ma'am, and if I ask you specifically about the roles that your, apart from the doctors, that your husband, your brother, your daughter played, how was that for you? Because I know some moments are so weak, especially in front of kids.
Yes.
She was a rock star, she was a backbone to you, as you have earlier said in some of your interviews.
So see, when I was diagnosed with cancer, my only one and only concern, obviously, was my daughter
Daughter.
because she was about 11, so not very old. So yes, the only thing was like when I met the doctor and she said, okay, this is the treatment plan, this we'll do, that we'll do. I said, I don't care what you do. I have a daughter and I want to live. So you do whatever it takes, but I have to live. And I didn't break it to her immediately. It took some time for me to tell her. But yeah, she was okay. She seemed okay, at least, uh, the whole front that she posed was quite strong and quite understanding. And yes, my family, I mean, I'm so, so blessed. My brother, my husband, they've been there all the time. I would tell them, just, it's okay, one of you all can be there, both of you all don't need to be there for every damn thing. But they were there all the time, holding my hand. If my feet are hurting, doing a foot massage, or, just stroking my back. And that gave me a lot of strength. I don't think I would have been able to do it. If I was going through it physically, they were going through it equally, mentally, emotionally. So, yeah, I think I just want to say that, we underestimate the value of our families, in our lives. It's number one.
They are
Absolutely.
always taken for granted.
Yeah, we always, that's true. We always take our
That's true.
parents for granted. We take our family for granted, you know. But the way they can love you, the way they cry in your sorrows, the way they rejoice in your happiness, nobody else can, you know. No girlfriend, no boyfriend, no friends. I mean, yes, I have some great, great friends, but family is family. So, yeah. So, all those young people out there who think, Arey, mummy to is, you know, just doing chick chick and daddy is just doing that. No, they do it because they love you.
Exactly, ma'am. Ma'am, can you throw some light on your diet plans post the disease?
On my dad plan,
Yes, ma'am.
so basically, once I got diagnosed, I was asked to not by the doctors or the hospitals, but by the nutritionist. She was like, stay off wheat, stay off dairy products, sugar. So I just took these out of my diet, and otherwise it was just regular food. So there were no major restrictions, and it wasn't that difficult to follow, you know. So yeah, not so bad.
Ma'am, recently Mr. Navjot Singh Sidhu also did a press conference and said that just because of changing, like one of the major factors were to change the diet of his wife, and the life expectancy was just 3%, and she came out to be cancer free after changing her diet. Totally.
Yes, yes, it makes a huge difference, of course, you know. Whatever we are is what we eat and what we think. That is what makes us, you know. So, yes, it is very, very important to eat right. To eat, especially, I lost so much weight after my bone marrow transplant from about 50 kgs, 51 kgs, had gone down to 40. So, I was like a skeleton. I was like, you know, the clothes hanging like on a hanger. I had become so thin. So yes, I had to kind of eat right, protein, high protein diet, and all that. But yeah, it happens.
So, ma'am, before we wrap up, why don't you give a special message to your all the fans and anyone who is actually battling this disease? How to be strong, especially in my opinion, because if we are mentally very strong, we can overcome everything and anything.
It's mind over body, always. It's always mind over body. So, like I said earlier, uh, don't ask these questions. Sometimes I see people, I've had some friends or some acquaintances who had cancer after me and they've called me, for certain things. And they're always like, why me? And, I led such a good life. I had a good lifestyle. Why me? There's no why me.
Exactly.
Please don't ask why me. If not you, then who? Nobody should get something like this, And we are all hoping for a happier, healthier world. So nobody should get it. Well, now, there's no really real answer for why me. I mean, even I've thought that, okay, what did I do wrong? Was it my lifestyle? Was it my karma? You're not going to get an answer. You've got this, face it, just go with it. Believe in your mind that you're going to get through it, and that'll be the strongest thing you can do for yourself. There will be days when you will be put down, when you'll be in pain, where you just want to give up. Okay, next day, so again get up and say, okay, I'm going to get through it. And yeah, other than that, I think just be happy, you know, laugh about it. I would laugh about it. Like, I went for this one test, which is very, very painful, okay? So I came out and I was crying. It was so painful, I couldn't speak. I was just crying. So my doctor was also my friend. She came and she was like, oh my God, I forgot to tell them to like do it with anesthesia. Is it very painful? It's hurting a lot. So I was like, yeah, it's really hurting. Not as painful as marriage, but it is painful. So she was laughing. She was like, my God, even right now you want to make a joke about it. So I don't want to see you do whatever you want. Just laugh about it. That's the only way to do it, you know. And it's going to be okay. Yeah.
I don't have proper words to tell you because last year only I have lost someone very dear to me with this disease. So I don't have any words exactly what to tell you, but I am sending you lots of positive vibes, healing vibes, so that you can not only be inspiration to me personally, but to all the viewers who are seeing my podcast or who will be seeing my podcast in the YouTube later on. Ma'am, sending you lots of my best wishes to you and your family. Thank you so much for joining me live.
Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye
you so much, ma'am.
all. Thank you.
So yeah, that was Miss Sheetal Thakkar, and we were talking about cancer, her personal life, and how did she face it and overcome the entire episode of this deadly disease. Thank you so much for watching me live on Let's Uncork with Lovely Gupta. I'll be meeting you very soon with another guest only on this podcast. Thank you so much.